have to choose from where you want to start talking from. What level of consciousness are you going to continue to identify as? Is it who you were yesterday? Is it who you are today? Is it who you could have been if you had chosen better for yourself? So why not make that choice for yourself? Why not choose to be free, to move into a state of freedom from the place that you are now? The place that you are is real enough, of course. It's contextually true. It's your experience in the moment. But that doesn't have to dictate the future, or that doesn't have to stop transformation from occurring in the moment. Just because something exists doesn't mean that it has to be defeated or overcome or even figured out. All you have to do is realize that you're stuck there and open further and further until you see things from a clear perspective and an understanding of exactly what it is you're dealing with. And then you realize that the issues and the problems are always related to the diminishment of your consciousness into what it is you're experiencing in the body. Now, if you can find a way to embody a higher state of consciousness and an enlightened awareness, if that can become comfortable for you to be, then relax into that experience. Find a way to take the experience of where you are, exactly where you're stuck, and realize that you just have to make some minute adjustments in order to free yourself up substantially. Allow yourself to readjust, to reframe your life, to be able to take on a whole new level of responsibility that results in an experience here of something that you really, really like being. So the solidity that's in between me and that experience gets highlighted when I describe it. Then all I have to do is connect with it. Connect with that resistance. Connect with that opposition. And surrender to it. Surrender to your opposition. Your internal opposition. Surrender to being internally opposed within your experience of yourself. Within the multiple aspects of what it feels like to be you. Let's let all aspects of you open and awaken. And to know that it can come together with a solution. You allow there to be a solution to your blockages, a solution means something in solution, which means something in a liquid state of being, which means able to flow, able to shift, able to change how it's expressed, and to do so according to your environment so that it's appreciated and seen as a free state of expression that the other people around you would choose for themselves if they knew how. So just know that all you have to do is confront it, feel it, allow it to beat you. And the you that's being beaten is the idea. It's the story. It's the lies that construct your reality. You give those up and experience the truth of yourself instead. When you're willing to experience the truth of yourself, a truth that transcends your current understanding, compared to that, your experience of yourself is one of pain and suffering. So just be okay with that. And confront your pain and confront your suffering with your feeling, with your willingness to feel it intimately. Feel the tragedy of your life. Feel the disappointment of your very being over what you've become here, what I've become here. Not what was possible, certainly. This was possible and it happened, but what could it have been? How great a being could I have been here? Difficult to say, I guess. Coming from a point of view that I'm completely disappointed with who and what I am here. So how do I shift that? I have to embrace it, that that's my truth. It doesn't have to continue to be that, but it's my truth in the moment. As I confront my momentary truth, then its moment in time is over and has been finished and is complete and done. And you're done with it and it's done with you. Suppression is not eternal. It's a point in time that you've moved on from. Just allow all of your pain and suffering to be complete, to be resolved, to be in balance. So there's no blame and no shame. No blame, no shame. Not giving the others responsibility, which means you're taking it on yourself. What you've taken upon yourself isn't a failure. It's not something to be ashamed of. It's your liberation. Be comfortable in your liberation. It doesn't have to forever be something that you're in transition into. It can be something that you just pop into and it's yours. You can just realize your divinity and without climbing a hierarchy, without getting permission from anybody else, without needing to get permission from anybody else. And yet if permission were needed, you would have had it and do have it from every being of divine awareness. So awaken already. You're invited, you're seen, you're known, you're understood. And just open into that. Know that the universe knows you and understands and accepts and is at your service so long as you awaken to the truth of that. Allow this universe to be of service to you. Feel the you that's manifest as something that could never be true for. Embrace it. And realize it's just lies. The more light that you see, the more darkness dissolves into the flow, freedom, a limitless expression of freedom. Freedom combined with joy and infused with grace and charm. You set sights like that for yourself, and everything in you that believes it's not that or is less than that wakes up and cries out and say, that's not true, that's not real, that's not me. See, I'm this. And when you embrace that expression, then you realize yourself in that, then you feel the limitations. Then you know it's not true and you wake up out of it. And the limitations no longer bind you, they no longer shape you and define you. So what do we do when we confront that? What do you do when you confront your actual freedom, your actual knowing, your actual beingness of, something magnificent? What happens when you confront that level of truth with the you that you're being right now in this moment? You flash on like a supernova, burning up all the lies that constructed your identity and your beingness. It's the fire of transformation, the burning off of the construct of lies that are designed to create limitation and continuity, and what actually eventually becomes a prison. Feel your prison intimately and then know that you're free. To know that you're free in the midst of a prison means that the prison doesn't hold you, it doesn't contain you, it doesn't define you. You're there sharing that reality with other people, but it doesn't dominate you, it doesn't shut down your consciousness, it doesn't limit your awareness, it doesn't impose on your freedom to be who you choose to be here. So feel that freedom. When you confront the enormity of your limitations, the infinite complexity of them, how they bind with and support each other, so that nobody can ever change. Take responsibility for that in yourself. Because in fact, you are the architect of that experience of you being you. So know that the truth is that the truth is in you and is your experience. And the truth that you went to sleep to that you didn't notice, that you didn't experience that as yours, as your own reality. So as you experience reality as it is, it becomes you, and you become it. And when you become a solid reality, it's initially a shocking experience to be locked into a particular form. Well, once you know that that's what's going to be your experience here, that you're locked into one particular form, and you're perceiving from that point of view, which is a life, a human beingness, and you go, okay, that's kind of solid and predictable, but that's what I'm going to be here. I'm going to make that as good an experience as I can. Universally good. So if your body's kind of all out of balance like mine, it's what you've got to work with, and you have to confront it. You have to confront your body, your vessel. You have to confront your consciousness, your experience of yourself, and your belief that that's what's real. Now, what you don't feel, and what you don't sense, and what you don't experience doesn't really exist. So that limits your possibilities, because you can't ever move into a stage of rapid expansion, because you locked yourself into an identity of being dammed up. You know, no freedom of flow for you. So let's look at that, where there's no freedom within you to the point where you could flow here, where you could be moved according to what's really real and true, where that becomes your momentary creator, the truth molding you, the truth shaping you, the truth becoming you. When you awaken as your truth, as the truth, then the truth will have set you free, wouldn't it? So look at that, the desire to be set free. But as you, not set free by your realizing a greater truth of yourself, but that's the only one that works. You have to realize a greater and greater and greater truth of yourself. in each moment and take responsibility for it. Keep confronting, and then keep opening anyway. Confront the darkness of yourself and open in more and more surrender. It's not protection that you need, it's awakening. Once you're awakened, you'll know what to do. You don't need to be legislated into an invalid, completely unable to awaken and move here with a purpose that's worthy of you. So let's awaken back to at least that level of truth, the truth where we're awakened, where we see easily what the truth is. And we move with it in such a way that it makes us happy. It makes us happy to be here, glad to be alive, grateful to be the life that's you. That your point of view from this perception of life is, one that you want, one that you kind of value and adore. Adore yourself because you are the doorway between limitation and freedom, good and evil, right and wrong. The one that understands both sides and is the master that holds it all together, so that you can transition from one to the other, whenever you choose. Feel all that resistance to that, right? Just keep confronting it until you realize your truth and your darkness there. The truth that no matter how dark you are, the truth of you is still divine. The truth of you is still real. The truth of you is still you. No matter how dark you become, you're still divine. You can fully reawaken pretty easily anytime you choose to. So why not give that a little practice? Why not choose to experience the realization of your divinity? Right here, right now, while watching me. Why? I don't know. I have to do it too. I can't say, hey, I'm a channeler, I'm a teacher, I'm wise, but I'm not complete, I'm not whole, not universally realized and true within my experience of myself. Well, why not? Why am I holding on to a level of truth that's full of lies? As true as those lies are, the lies don't flow freely. They're not a really good lie. A good lie is one that creates a beautiful story where you embrace yourself in the experience of that story until it becomes real for you and you luxuriate in the beauty of a particular story and you just love that experience. Even though it was just a fabricated story, it was something that you could become and enliven and experience in a beautiful way. So if you got a lie, that's the only acceptable one. One that makes things really, really good for you and the other person. If instead you have to tell the truth all the time, then you have to be really careful with that. You can't criticize and condemn the actuality of everybody's faults and everybody's limitations and say, see, look, it's real, it's true, you're not really a very good version of you. So what? I'm awakened in my experience of the me that I am now. Despite my physical limitations, despite the traumas and terror and darkness that still comprises my experience of who I am. We have to accept reality as it is, most especially our personal one. We have to be at peace with knowing that our truth will still set us free regardless of anything else. So it doesn't matter what there is in the moment. If we choose our freedom, it's ours. So to awaken into your freedom, that's your purpose. That's the reason you're here. You're here to realize your freedom, to make it real in the experience of being human, to have the divine become what it is to be humane. Be willing to experience your contractions here, where your body is, seized into a solidity, being something really definable. You have to allow the story of you to be transmuted. You have to allow yourself to be changed in the moment that you're experiencing. You have to allow yourself to be changed in each moment, becoming a greater and greater complexity of creation, a complexity that's a singularity, a complexity that's a divine presence, a complexity that's able to change form and transform reality. So take your responsibility for your experience and transform your reality. Awaken in the moment. Feel it open and expand more. Become a greater and greater free expression in each moment here. Sometimes you have to crack some eggs to get your transformation started. So unless you want to keep being you, surrender your way in joy and enjoy your life and your beingness here. Well, I guess if I'm going to keep falling asleep, I'm going to put an end to this, but if you watch through all that, then have faith in yourself. Confront the contextualized, temporary, momentary truth of yourself. And in that experience, you'll be able to expand into a greater beingness of yourself. And have that be realized as you, made real as you.